Well, hi YouTube, Brian James on my path to Paphos here. Welcome to the channel once again. And it's been a big week, big week for me. Well, what's happened? What's made it a big week? I finally, after 6.5 months, got my social insurance number through. It's taken a long time and a lot of hassle. I haven't been able to do any hotel work, very little hotel work, because the hotels wanted me to have a social insurance number as a self-employed person. If they'd take me on to work, I would have got a contract and I could have had the number in literally by return. But a little bit of a story about my social insurance number. So if you are coming over here to work, and that's not the majority of Brits over here, the majority of British come over on different visas, but I've come over here on an Irish passport. But if you're coming over here on sponsored work, then you've got, as a British passport holder, you've got to have you've got to register for your social insurance and also for GESY, for the National Health Service over here. And that's what I've been desperately trying to do before I came back to the UK for any length of time, to try and get all that sorted. Now, a few things about the social insurance system. Let's get myself comfortable before I start, because it's been a big task. I've been passed from pillar to post back again, mainly for the fact that I'm self-employed over here, but it's been quite an ordeal trying to go up there, get the forms. First of all, the forms, everything's written in Greek, which is understandable. It's a Greek-speaking country, but it makes things incredibly difficult for you. One way around that I found, if you've got a mobile phone or a tablet, whether Android or Apple, if you use the Google Translate app, you can take a photograph of the page, you can translate the whole page, and that will allow you to actually be able to see what all the boxes are in English. And when you go to the office, if you take your phone as well, you can actually hold it over and you can see translation of certain words on there. It will read the words on the screen in Greek, but display them in English. Well worth it, because you're filling in a form. You don't know what the box is. You don't know if it's asking for your date of birth, your place of birth, your age, your sexuality, your surname, your phoneme. If you don't speak Greek, you've had it, but using Google Translate will let you do 99% of what you want. So really it's worth having, and it's a free app. It works superbly well. But yes, I went up to the registration place for my social insurance and had some forms to fill out. As a self-employed person, I had to take a couple of invoices as well, at least 2 invoices for the work I'd been doing. And that's been a bit confusing, because how do you work if you're not registered to work? And that's been something of a difficulty, but everything's fairly laid back. You know, I was overthinking things. But basically, I went to the registration office. I was passed to go upstairs to another office, who immediately passed me to go back downstairs to the same person again. And then I was sent to a different office across town, who sent me back to this first person again. And they then sent me back upstairs. And eventually they sent me to see a specific person, which I think was the office manager. And she got me sorted out very well. And this was over a week ago. And got myself sorted out, got all the bits and pieces. She was asking me when I'd started work, how much I was earning, because there is a minimum threshold. And I'll come back to that in a few moments. But she asked me how much I was earning. Wanted to see a copy of my, either the deeds of my house, or in my case, my rental agreement. So she saw them, saw my passport, was legal to work. And then she says, so you have photocopies of these? I said, no, but you can take photocopies. Oh, no, you do the copies. So I had to take all the paperwork back. I finally reached that point, took all the paperwork back, and eventually got photocopies of all the things I needed: my yellow slip, my spare invoice, copies of my invoices on that, copies of my passport, a photocopy of the important page of my passport, the data page of my passport. I got photocopies of my yellow slip, everything I could. I got photocopies to give them, because they won't photocopy, you're going to give them the photocopies. Then I went back, saw the same woman, who then filled in quite a few forms and got me to fill in forms. So I sat at the desk filling the forms in again using Google Translate. And, oh, what's that said? Date of birth, gender, male, doing all that with the Google Translate. Took it back into her. She then gave me another form, which I then had to take next door and up to this first floor. So I went to the first floor next door, and that was all filled in. I had to sit down and fill that form in with a lady up there in her office, rather than one of the counters. and then she stamped something and then gave me a piece of paper, a couple of pieces of paper, which were my, oh no, she sent me back downstairs again with this stamp form, beg your pardon. I went to see the office manager, who then sent me to the original desk I'd been to for the 4th time. But this time all the paperwork was in order, and she stamped them and gave me a couple of letters written in Greek again, which had my social insurance number on and all the details and how to get onto the website to pay your social insurance. Now, over here, it's done in bands, and there is a minimum income per week for different types of people. If you're over here as a doctor or a dentist, you're going to be, you will pay social insurance at a minimum of about 900 euros per week. So if you're going to be doing that, that's, you're paying 200 euros every week social insurance, because social insurance is 16.6%. Then of course you pay 4% as a self-employed person for the GESY, for the GESY, GESY, for the GESY, for the National Health Service. So basically, as a self-employed person, I'm paying 20.4% of everything I earn. Now that's fine, except for the fact that if I don't earn past that threshold, and for me, my thing was 490 euros a week, I have to be earning 490 euros a week minimum, and they will take that off you every week, and it's paid quarterly. So it's done there. So whether I'm earning anything or not, I still have to pay for that amount of social insurance. And GESY is if I was earning the minimum, which is 479 euros and something. So it's 479 euros for me. However, there are exemptions. If you can show exemptions, they can put a reduction on. You have to apply for the reduction every time, but you apply for the reduction if you haven't earned that much, and allows you to pay under that. So that's to be done. That's paid online. So I came out eventually with my social insurance number, and that social insurance number also allows me to log on and to get an account on the GESY system. Now that's a really important thing for me. So say I was earning that 479 euros per week, that minimum that they do. That's basically about 98 euros a week that I have to pay in taxes. That sounds a lot. However, the way I'm looking at it is this: if I do that, that's about 5,000 euros I have to pay to the Cypriot government per year. About 20, it's just over 20%, 20.6 of whatever I earn. But having said that, I'm getting all the benefits from it. Fair enough, I'm not going to be on the social insurance system long enough to do the 15 years to qualify for a state pension. That's fine. But I am contributing to the country. I'm, earning money over here and I'm contributing back, which, this is one of the things that I cry about my own country. I want people who come into the country not to be scrounging on handouts from us, not to be on benefits, but they go off and earn their money and then pay the relevant taxes the same as anybody else does. So that's what I'm doing. I'm paying the relevant taxes for that. So that will be paid. But the way I'm looking at this is a health insurance loan. I could be paying 2,500 euros a year just for my own health insurance. Well, this way I'm on the GESY. So I'm saving that 2,500 euros. But also, if I want to come to Cyprus and be in the glorious sunshine and see the views that I have behind, previous to this I would be spending at least, 1,200 euros for a fortnight over here, out of season, 1,200 euros for a 2-week vacation over here. So I would be paying 3,600 euros a year before any expenses just to come over here and have, 6 weeks of sunshine? Well, for my 5,000 euros a year, I've got 365 days of Cyprus, 330 days of sunshine, and the rest is pleasant enough. So I've got this for the whole year for that price, and I've got my healthcare. So if you were to consider the 3,600 I'll be spending on holidays, and the, say, 2,000 that I'll be paying on health insurance, that means I'm actually about 600 euros better off. And I've got a lot more days. I've got just under 11 months more time in the sun, 11 months more over here. So to me, although it sounds like it's quite an expense, especially when the wages are terrific over here and you earn a lot less, it's still really good value for money for me. It means that I've got health cover, and the health system over here is fabulous. Now, the other thing is as well, I got into my accountant over here. I've got a UK accountant, which I've got to see when I go back home. I've got some dealings to do with them for my end of year. But I've also got an accountant I've come to in Cyprus who's been trying to get my income tax sorted out as a self-employed person. And again, they got back to me today. That's the computers, I believe, are down. They may have been hacked. According to my account, they may have been compromised, I think the word was. But basically, the systems are down today. But they're going to have my income tax number together. And that makes me 100% legal for working in Cyprus at last. It's taken a huge worry away from me, because although I've been out there earning money, I've been worried about how legal I was, and I wanted to be legal. I wanted to make sure that I don't fall foul of the system over here, that I do give the contributions I'm due to. So by doing that, and also by declaring on my social insurance that I started working much earlier, because they asked that question, by being honest about when I started working, to get that right, that makes the whole thing now comfortable. So I now have my residency, I have my social insurance number, I have my GESY, and I have my income tax number. I'm sorted. That's me for life. It's great. At the moment, I'm still on my MEU1 form. I'm, 4 months into that. When I reach the 5-year point, then I can apply for my MEU3, which is a permanent residency. And that doesn't limit me as to how long I can be out of the country. At the moment, I can't be out more than 183 days in a year. And I think I can't be out of the country in a single block for, I think it's either 60 or 90 days. But at the moment, I'm still on that for the 5-year point. When I reach 5-year, I get the permanent residency. I can come and go as I please, and I'll be perfectly legal. Now, one thing about the social insurance system over here, though, is when you reach 65, you come off it, unless you're still earning money. So I'll still be earning some money. But in theory, at 65, then I come off the social insurance, but I keep on with the GESY because I'll have qualified for that. So that gives a huge amount of comfort in what I'm wanting to do. It really means that in my book, I've arrived, which is fabulous. So let me know what's been happening with you. Let me know how you've got on. If you're on your path to Paphos or your path to Cyprus, or your path to anywhere else, how far down the legal route are you? Drop me a comment below. I'd really love to see what you have to say. Thanks to everybody who's been supporting the channel by buying me a coffee. You can see the link above and the little QR code with a cup in the middle. But there's also a link in the description if you want to buy me a coffee. Or if you want to pay for a super thanks, that'd be great. But the most important thing, give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me a little bell and a tick for all, because it really does make such a huge difference to the channel. I'm now over 4,000 subscribers. I really thank you all for that. Hitting the 4,000 mark, I think I'm about 4,029, 4,030 now when I last looked. That really does make a difference, because it gets YouTube to push these videos out to more people. And I've noticed all the YouTube channels referring to Cyprus, all their viewing figures have dropped a lot. I don't know if YouTube is not promoting them so much, but all of them have dropped. To see any of these channels getting a video which is getting more than 1,000 likes is getting quite rare. So thank you all of you who are getting me up towards that 900 to 1,000 likes on a video. Sorry, viewings on a video, not likes, viewings. People who are getting 900, maybe 1,000 viewings, because some of the other channels, like myself, are struggling to get anything into the high hundreds, and certainly struggling to get over 1,000. It seems to be that time of year. Obviously, holiday season has gone, so people aren't necessarily planning the holiday out for here as yet. It'll pick up, but thank you to everyone who has supported the channel. And until the next time, this is Brian James on my path to Paphos, saying I'll see you soon. And enjoy your path to wherever you're going. Bye-bye.